It's this beautiful edge design featuring 4 petal flowers that hang off the bottom of your work. On this video, I'll teach you how to do the floral fringe edge. I'll be using a 4mm hook and some 24/7 cotton yarn by Lion Brand. Thank you so much, Lion Brand, for sponsoring this video. I find that it's hard to find cotton that actually has shine to it, and that's what I love about this one. Because this is 100% cotton, it's going to be very durable, but it's really soft. Alright, so for this design, I'm going to teach you how to do this motif in a minute here. I just want to tell you how many stitches you're going to need per motif in case you want to calculate that for the length of your project, and then determine how many motifs you need to make. So we're going to be needing 12 stitches per motif. That's going to be because you're going to have 6 and 6 go on each side of the motif. So to calculate, for example, I have 3 motifs. My edge needs to be 12 times 3, right? Plus 3 for the base chain. So say you have 5 motifs, then you'll do 5 times 12 plus 3 for the base chain. So calculate that, add 3 for the base chain. So now I'll show you how to make one of these. And then afterwards, we'll add that header with the calculation that you just made. All right, so we're going to start by creating the first flower motif. So go ahead and do a slip knot, however you do that. And we're going to chain 5. So bring in your hook and begin with a chain 5. Now we're going to close off this ring by doing a slip stitch to the first chain that you made. Insert your hook into that chain, pull the yarn through to close. And now we've created a little ring, and we're going to go into the center of it for row 1. So we're going to do 12 single crochets into the center of that ring. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to meet you when I'm done 12. Okay, I just finished my 12 single crochet. So now to finish off this row, we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first stitch that you made. So the first single crochet, go into it and create a slip stitch. This here is the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to start with a chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next stitch, we're going to create a bubble stitch. A bubble is going to be basically a treble crochet 3 together. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, and stop right there. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Let's do that twice more. Yarn over twice, into the same stitch, insert your hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And one more, yarn over twice, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you should have a total of 4 loops on your hook. So now yarn over and pull through all the loops. That's going to be our bubble stitch. Continuing the repeat, chain 4. And do a slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch, a slip stitch. Into the next stitch, a slip stitch. And that's the end of the repeat, which creates the first petal. You want to do that 3 more times. So let's do it once again together. You're going to chain 4. Into the next stitch, we're doing a bubble stitch, which is 3 treble crochets together. We yarn over twice, into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop right there. 2 more, yarn over twice, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. 3 loops on your hook, and we're going to go once again, yarn over twice, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Continuing the repeat, we chain 4 And now we're going to do a slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch, a slip stitch, into the next stitch, a slip stitch. And that is our second petal. So we want to do this 2 more times. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you at the end of the 4th petal. Now, something important at the end of the last petal there is that you're not going to do the 2 slip stitches. You're only going to do 1 slip stitch because you only have 1 stitch left. But again, I'm going to do 2 petals, and I'll meet you when I'm done the second chain 4 of the last petal. Okay, so I just did the second chain 4 of the last petal here, and I just want to show you, you only have 1 stitch left to go through. So into that very last stitch, we're just going to do 1 slip stitch. Now, to continue this row, we're going to do a chain 7 from here. So chain 7. And once you're done your chain 7, we're going to be skipping 2 chains and doing a single crochet into the next one. So 1 single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. Now you want to do 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 chains. And now to finish this off, we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the first row. So let's see here. It's going to be right here. Insert your hook and do a slip stitch. Now you've got your flower with a little stem that's going to hang off of your edge. So continue making these however many you need. And then I'll show you how to make the header. All right, so now for the header, remember we're going to do a foundation chain that is the multiple of 12 times however many motifs you have. So in my case, I have 3 motifs. 3 times 12 is 36, plus 3 for the base chain is 39. So I've got a 39 foundation chain, and I'm going to show you how to do the header design. We're going to begin with row 1. For that, we're going to be skipping 4 chains, and into the next, we're working a treble crochet. And this is what we want to do all the way to the end. We're creating treble crochets into each one of the foundation chains. Remember, for a treble crochet, you yarn over twice and then pull through 2 loops at a time. So continue doing this all the way to the end of the foundation chain, and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just did 1 treble crochet into each chain of the foundation chain. We're going to move on to row 2 of the header. We're chaining 3. Which counts as a double crochet, and flip your work. You're going to be skipping the first stitch and then doing 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so from here, we're actually going to be incorporating one of the flowers, and we're going to be going through the top of the stem here. There is a chain that you skipped, and so into that chain, we're going to be inserting our hook. So we're going to remove our hook from the header, and now we're going to insert it through that top that I was mentioning. The top, there's like a picot, it's like a little chain at the top there. So insert it and then grab like back into your loop here and pull through to just connect it. From here, we are just going to do a double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now this is where your flower is going to fall down like this. So there we go. Now you've got 6 double crochets on each side of the flower, and we're going to continue doing this. So you go back to the beginning, create 6 double crochets, bring in your next flower, 6 double crochets, and so on. So let's do it again. I'm going to go back and do 6 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to be grabbing my next flower, removing my hook, inserting it at the top like I did before, re-grabbing my loop here and pulling it through. And from here, I'm going to be doing 6 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so that is the second time. I'm going to do that once more, and I'll do it off camera. I just got 12 more stitches here. So I'm going to do 6, connect the flower, and then 6. After that, I should have my flowers hanging from the work, and I'll meet you at the end of this row, and I'll show you the last 2. Another thing I wanted to mention is if you wanted your flowers to be closer, you could make more motifs. It's just nice to have this spacing. I feel like it looks a little bit more clean, but if you wanted them to be closer, you could add some more. Just know that it's going to be a little bit more crowded. So again, I'm going to do 6 double crochets, connect my flower, and 6 double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Something else that's important is that at the end here, you've got your turning chain. So your last stitch is going to go into the turning chain, and that'll be your 6th stitch after you join the flower. So this is my turning chain. I'm going on top of the turning chain and doing my last double crochet. This here is the end of row 2. Another important thing is that your flowers are all facing the same way. So this is the front of the flower, and this is the back of the flower. They look a little bit more grainy compared to the front. So when you connect them, just make sure that the front of the flower is facing you and they all look the same. So now we're going to do row 3 and row 4, which are going to be the exact same. We're chaining 1 and flipping our work. And now you're going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch of the row. So we just do 1 single crochet all the way to the end for the end of row 3. And then row 4, you just repeat row 3. And something that's important on this row is that you've got a little bit of a gap where you join the flower. So you're going to have to skip that. We're going to omit that. We're just doing single crochets on top of the double crochets of the previous row. There's 1 slip stitch there where you connected your flower. So we're going to omit that. You're going again, only on top of the double crochets. So here I've got double crochet, then the slip stitch that connected the flower, so I'm omitting that, and I'm going into the next double crochet with my single crochet. That's going to keep your stitches even in the row. If you're creating single crochets where that slip stitch is, then you're adding 1 more stitch into where the flower went, so we don't want that. Just want to do 1 single crochet per stitch all the way to the end. And then row 4, you're just going to do the same thing. You're doing row 3 again. And then I'll show you what my sample looks like. Okay, here we have it. Look how cute these are. I love the spacing of them. Honestly, I feel like if I had too many flowers, it'd just be too heavy. But I guess it depends on the project you're making. You get this beautiful thick border at the top and these 4 petal flowers that hang off the bottom of your work. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.